Timestamp. I'll have to put these back to back. My kid came in. Uh, December 12th, 2025, a little bit after 11. Um, so yeah, I did something. Alright, so the woman in question had like 7 Doctor Who listings. All over the place as far as what they were. And there were a couple that I was interested in, and 2 that I really, really, really wanted, and like 3 that I didn't care about because I already have it or whatnot. They all already had bids on them, so I know there's at least 2 people because they had multiple bids. At least one person and one person were duking it out. I didn't enter the ring until like 10 minutes till, So, knowing that I would get outbid on the ones I didn't really care about, I kind of bid those up to where all it took was somebody to bid like 1 penny more to top me. And I knew someone would, because a little bit risky, and I admit that. But I knew someone would because someone was gonna. They were low enough to where somebody would do that little bit more. But I did that at a couple minutes till the end of the auction, and then walked away from those because I didn't really care about those as much. I bid up the 2 that I was kind of like mediocrely, kind of did about the same thing there. And then I just kind of hovered over the 2 that I really wanted and threw in a bid at the last minute, swinging high but knowing that I'd probably topped whoever had it. And it worked. I don't even know. One of them, somebody did react and jumped it up a couple bucks, but it was too late. So, it was very Sun Tzu. I feel guilty, and then again, no, I don't. Um, so, and it was an American auction, so I'm not going to wind up paying like extra tariffs or surprise shipping. I spent 80 bucks, and I have 4 unit soldiers on the way. That was one of the lots, and the other lot was exactly. The other lot was the other lot. Welcome back, Scrappy. Was 3 classic Silurians, which there's a box set with those 3, and they are going for 70, 80, 90, 100 bucks. And I just paid right at $80 for basically the 3 Silurians from that 3-pack and 4 unit soldiers. Paid like just barely over $10 a figure on stuff that I should have paid $20, $30 a figure. Again, I'm going to sleep just fine. I feel only a little bit dirty. Only a little bit. But man, I just got, as long as there aren't any shipping issues, I just got like over $200 in Doctor Who figures for like 80 bucks. And the part where I almost feel slightly bad is I know I made people spend a little bit more money on some other lots that I actually didn't care about. It was a distraction. If you're doing, if I had won them, I would have paid for them and gotten them, because the price actually still wasn't bad. It was just figures that I didn't necessarily need. You know what I mean? One of the ones that I was somewhat interested in, but wasn't ready to really like fight for it. They had a Jon Pertwee, and I want to say it was Death to the Daleks. It was a Dalek episode. It might have been Planet of the Daleks, where they basically had like a stealth thing where they were invisible. And this particular Dalek, the bottom half of it is like made of translucent plastic, and the top half of it has kind of like a misty black paint on it, because they find a solid something that they know is one of the things stalking people on the planet, and they like paint it to try and figure out what this invisible object is. So, like, the top half of it has like a little bit of a black thing going on. They're like, oh, it's a Dalek, you know. So I was moderately interested in that, just because getting one of those clear Daleks would be kind of cool. But it's cool. One of the other auctions was, and this one this is the other one that I kind of wanted, but I knew it was going to go stupid high. It was a Tom Baker and a Zygon. The big slug-looking guy, like with a sloped slug-like head and the like suckers all over whatnot. And the Tom Baker had the like more Scottish look going on. There was a very Scottish, because of the Loch Ness Monsters and that, there was like kind of a Scottish theme throughout that episode, which it's a great episode. But it's not the typical Tom Baker look. You know, his hat is not the fedora, the scarf is different, it's just not that classic Tom Baker, so I wasn't as committed. And I knew, because the Zygon was in it, because they are hard to get a hold of, that was going to get stupid priced quick. And yeah, it ended at like $50. And was a spectacular diversion for what I was really trying to focus on. So, oh man, I wasn't sure that was going to work. And it may not have worked on the whole thing, you know, because like the unit soldiers, that still went up like an extra $2 or $3 in like the last 5 seconds. Somebody saw what I had done and went, oh shit, and immediately bid on it, but they didn't bid high enough, because I had kind of like swung for the fences with a high bid, knowing that someone might jump in, you know, with an extra $5 if I've got it 15 above what it is right now. Chances are, if they test the water, it's going to be too late. They tested the water. Yeah. So, because doing the army building, like four unit soldiers? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have the Brigadier, I have Captain Yates, I have Sergeant Benton, and I have one unit grunt, one unit soldier. So another 4? Fantastic. Fantastic. Now I have a pretty good squad. You know, if I pick up 1 or 2 more along the way, cool. If I don't, cool. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, so I was like, I need those unit soldiers. And I got the Silurians. They drastically changed the look of the Silurians. And if you watch the show, you know what I'm talking about. But the classic Silurians are just... But the classic Silurians, man. I am wondering if, with the upcoming war between the land and the sea, I think is what the mini-series, whatnot's going to be called. I am wondering if they're going to address the whole, this is what the Silurians used to look like, this is what the Sea Devils used to look like, this is what they look like now, explain. You know what I mean? Because I know, like, Star Trek had to do a little bit of tap dancing with the Klingons, too. The Romulans still pretty much look like the Romulans and all that, but the Klingons, if you remember the original series, they look real different now. They look real different now. So, I am wondering if anybody's going to decide to actually explain, because much like the Klingons, they look drastically different. And I don't remember if they ever addressed it in... Because I want to say Matt Smith had an episode or 2 with Silurians. Yeah, I know he did. Because, was it Lady Vashta? And Jenny? Ooh, Jenny. What a cutie. Very Girl Next Door and Lethal. I'm in love. Yeah, I want to say there were a couple of Silurian episodes. I don't know if they ever really addressed it, though. I'm not sure. Part of me still can't believe that worked, though. if there had been a lot, there were like 6 watchers on every listing. It was probably the same 6 people. And I know there were at least 2 people actively bidding because the prices had gone up. You got to have 2 to tango, right? So there were at least 2 people kind of making the price go up. And it might have just been 2 people. Then again, maybe all 6 were, putting the hook in the water. I'm not sure. But, so, I might get them in a week or so. I'm not sure. But, I'm pretty cool with it. Yeah. I paid what I would have paid for just the Silurians and basically got 4 unit soldiers for free. Basically. Health check, I feel pretty good. I'm still really not sure how I'm digesting the Clara situation. Kind of not, I think. Yet another thing I can't change. And I'm just still kind of in shock about that. Now, I haven't seen anything on Facebook which makes me wonder if my alumni are even aware of it. I kind of have an inside track knowing people that still communicate with her, though. It's not that she wasn't popular or anything, she didn't have she just didn't have the ambition to speak to any of our alumni. She had a couple of tight friends, and the rest, no. So I think my alumni would care, because most of them aren't, nasty, awful people. But, I don't think it would hit them as hard as it's hitting me. 1 or 2 of them, maybe. Very specific people that I know of. But most of them, no. Definitely not like it's hitting me. Yeah, I did a little bit around the house, not a whole lot. I talked to LT on the phone for like 4 hours today, which was nice. It was nice. She's working on her medical stuff, trying to get better. I understand the trying to make my world better aspect of things. So. She's got a tough path ahead of her, and I can relate, And I know that nobody, what's the phrase, life is hard, nobody gets out alive. I get it. It just seems like a few of the people I know, myself included, have been through a certain brand of hell over the past 2 or 3 years. It just a little overwhelming. So I'm gonna put some chicken and vegetables in the fridge, transfer the laundry from the washer to the dryer. I might take a shower. I might wait until I get up in the morning. Tomorrow's Saturday. We're not doing a flea market garage sale, but I'm gonna be doing some eBay. And I did cross a few things off my list today. Oh, and I did get some packages. And it's not broken. Appreciate that. And as an apology for it taking a month, and I didn't mention this before because honestly I was like, I don't know if I believe you. You know, you've been jerking me around for a while. He was like, look around my store, see if there's any other mug in here that you like under $30, and I'll throw it in for free. You know, I'm really sorry. I'm a worthless human being. Mea culpa. You know. And I looked over what he had, and there wasn't a lot there that made me go woo. Actually, there was nothing that made me go woo. But there was one that I thought my girl might like. He had it for like $18. He said under 30. So, Kelly has a thing for the Sugar Skulls and the Day of the Dead and all that. So I was like, I'll take the blue Sugar Skull. And he was like, okay, yeah, no problem. Mind you, that was 2 conversations ago, so I've the whole time been like, So if I get that at the same time that I get the Taz mug, I'm getting the Blue Sugar Skull mug never, is really what you're saying. I didn't say that, but I'm thinking it, you know, for the past 2 weeks, because I ordered it on November 10th. It arrived today on December 12th. I didn't expect either mug to get here, honestly. But, cool. Please prove me wrong, you know? After 3 conversations, eBay crawling up your butt, and pretty much a month, feel free to do the right thing. And he admittedly, the first and second conversation, he was like, you know, if you want, I'll refund you. And I'm like, I've tried like 4 times to get that mug. You know, one of those large face Taz 15 ounce what have you mugs. Send me the mug. let me get one of the damn mugs that I've been trying to get for 3 months, 4 months. Pack it nicely, put it in a box, and send the damn thing to me. And let's hope it gets here in one piece. Not because I'm going to go all Karen on you, but after all the ones that I've gotten broken, can I please get one of them intact? You know? You gotta laugh. Gotta laugh. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call it there. I'm going to play with really nasty laundry that isn't mine. That's going to go in the dryer, and then it's going to go in a black plastic bag tied tight and put in the workshop, because that's what we're doing with any fabric we find around here. It goes in the workshop on top of the banker boxes, and we're figuring the intense heat that usually hits like 60, 50s out right now, but during spring, summer, when it's, you know, 110, 120 degrees in the workshop, maybe even hotter, actually, because if it's 100 out, sometimes that workshop gets boiling. There's not much circulation, and it's just hot air sitting there. Bed bugs don't like heat. They don't like heat. They do not thrive in heat. So we're figuring that'll, you know, be a good place to make sure that the washing and or the high heat dryer did the job. Constant baking in the workshop. Hopefully it'll wrap up whatever we didn't get. It's the theory anyway. And is it a good one? It sure is. But we've also got some gas grenades that say on the label they work on bed bugs. So as we get further into the project, I've got like 2 cases of them. We're just going to roll in some nerve gas, and if that doesn't work, we'll nuke it from orbit. Basically, that's the theory. So, yeah, the bug bombs will be like plan D in making sure that we've killed everything. Between the washing and the chemicals, the drying and the high heat, the intense heat of the workshop, and then we'll gas them. Because, the bug bombs, the vapor will get into the bag no matter how tight we tie it. If nothing else, they're at least a little bit porous, so make sure we wrap up the job. There's so much to do. Yeah. And I crossed some things off the list today. So I was running around like a silly person doing a bunch of chores here and there while I was talking to LT, but yeah. Do some eBay tomorrow, cross some more things off the list. And I have 3 Silurians on the way. I really wasn't sure that was going to work. Pretty down with that. Yeah, one of the ones that I kind of artificially pumped up was somebody had that woman had the Roger Delgado Master that I already have one. Getting a second one, okay. I don't need it though. But yeah, I every now and then would hop over and pump that up like $1, and sure enough, 20 seconds, 30 seconds later, somebody's like, "Oh no, you don't." Keep you looking everywhere where I want to focus my attention. I'm looking at the Silurians and also the Unisolars. Yeah, the end wrap-up price with shipping was like $84, with shipping tax and all that. My decoy worked. Alright. And I made the vendor some more money, so good for you. $3, $5, $10 here, So even if I win an auction that I wasn't planning on, okay. Oh no, more Doctor Who figures. Not a really great Zygon that I want. I'll get a Zygon, but right now I'm like, let me finish up what I'm working on. That was exhilarating. Alright. I'm going to wrap up here and get some sleep. Make it a great day.